another reality that I don't understand, right? Because I don't understand too much about this life, and then I immerse myself in a world where everything is a mystery. I used to play Pokemon as a kid. I don't speak English, right? But the game was in English. I'm Dutch. And everything was just mystery language for me. Every single thing. On top of that, the Pokemon, like, you always encounter new ones. And sometimes a friend did something weird for me in the game. And then something moved that I thought I had talked to everyone in the game. And it was just so mysterious for me. It was really like intermingled with my fantasy. And right now I play really like Fromsoftware Games. Right, they're very high difficulty. They're very mysterious, and it kicks my ass. And that's what I love about that game. Is just I have that feeling of immersion for the first time again. I feel like games are really simple nowadays. It's really I don't know, doesn't matter, easy to swallow. And then I played like Dark Souls and stuff, and oh man, I started with Sekiro, and I remember going to the mini boss of Sekiro. It was a troll or an ogre or whatever, very early on in the game, and I died, and I died again, and I died again, and I was immediately like, "What are you talking about?" I am a good gamer, um, and fuck that shit. So I quit like after maybe 30 times of dying, but I always had this thing where it was like, what was that? So I laid the game away for like a year, and maybe just the feeling of something kicking my ass that hard, it was really intriguing to me. So I started picking up the game again and ready to have my ass handed to me. And that was the best, by far the best mentality for that game. Like, I'm going in there, I'm gonna have my ass handed to me. But first, I had to go through this thing where, like, I have to accept that I'm not that good of a gamer. And it was also later that I found out, like, it's a From Software game. I was like, oh, that's the Dark Souls things, right? Those things are meant to be very hard. But still, I can really cope well with the feeling that something is better than me. It maybe not exactly what I want to say, but it's like I used to feel good in games, and that I think that's also what games nowadays do to you. And I think everyone kind of has the thing like, oh, I'm better. And then there's From Software who says like, you know nothing, and I love that. That was so cool. And I picked up the game again, and I first went in the best mindset here was really like, I suck, right? Because I already found out the first time, apparently I'm not good at that game, maybe at gaming in general. So I had to kind of wave away my ego to be like, okay, I'm gonna have my ass handed to me, present, because apparently you have an experience that I am all here for, and maybe it probably even is the butt kicking, right? That's really yeah. Instead of like whooping the ass, and just a magical experience of like taking something down that is so super hard, it was the best experience, man. Like, holy fucking crap, I hadn't experienced that since I was a kid in gaming, for sure, right? If you really have to work hard for something, like, you almost have to learn move sets, to be able to understand it, and then still it's not mathematics or something. You really have to have feeling for the game and what you can and cannot do, and have to keep your ego in check all the time to be like, oh no, I can have 2 hits. If I do 3, I might die. I might not survive. I'm not that good. Oh man. So this is also the thing I had when listening to Meshuggah, right? This is a very extreme Swedish extreme metal band that I listen to. And the first time I was like, oh hell no, right? This is too much. But I always had this thing where I was like, what was that? Because I had not experienced anything quite like it before in my life. Pretty sure of that. So I was a musician already for 10 years, and I didn't get much out of music from other artists. I had like songs that I like, but nothing really sparked my interest really in my deep sense, and nothing was really that intriguing to me. And then this band came, and after 3 years, I sometimes came back to it. After 3 years, for the first time, I started liking it because the music was so heavy, but it is like music is supposed to resolve, right? That is the whole thing. You add tension to resolve it. It's the same what a movie does, right? There's something wrong, there's always a problem, and then we solve it, right? And sugar is like there's a problem and then there's bigger problem. Meshuggah is really, I always, it add tension and more tension, and you have to get the resolve from feeling more tension. It's kind of like a roller coaster ride that never goes up again. It just goes harder down, and then you are like, I didn't know that was even possible. It's so yeah, that was great, and I experienced that with Sekiro, and I played all the games, and I don't know, I loved getting my butt whooped so much, and it really reminded me of the days of playing Pokemon, not understanding anything about the game, and just experiencing uh, by I don't know. I wanted to be immersed by the game, right? And it immersed me like in my fancy. And now with Dark Souls, I had that experience again. I needed to be immersed by the game, and for the first time since Pokemon, I had that again, where it was like, oh right, rah, this is new to me, and it reminds me of real life, where I'm also just, everything feels so new to me. Like I don't understand so many things in life, and it fascinates me to no end, and also just every challenge is it's a mystery challenge for me, right? And I don't always even know what the challenge is, but same as Dark Souls, like, oh, you died, right? So you messed something up, and I don't. I know not everyone can maybe relate to that, but I really have a deep fascination for life, and I'm not saying I'm happy all the time. Like I really, like I'm not, but deep down in my senses, I have something where it's like, ooh, that's fascinating. I even had a moment where I was like, I was angry or feeling depressed, and something deep inside me said like, "Oh, that's interesting." Like I didn't know I could, feel this way. Um, so I don't know. New experiences fascinate me. Being immersed fascinates me. Not understanding things fascinates me. That's also what the writer of Dark Souls. It's not really a writer. The creator of the Dark Souls said that he used to read books in English, but he's Japanese, right? So he had words he would understand, and then that's even more than I had with Pokemon, all right? And then there were words he didn't understand, and he had to fill in the gaps between the words he did understand with a little, well, fantasy, basically, because he couldn't know, but your brain has to make something of it, right? And I think sometimes he liked the story more than what was actually supposed happening there. And I think that he said he made his games that way as well. So there's like, I want to say almost hints in the game. The game doesn't explain shit about the game itself. You just enter a world and you die. and it's like people talking very mysteriously about things, usually laughing in a very, I don't know, dark manner. And yeah, it just fascinates me. And you really have to write, when you pick up items, read descriptions. You really have to go to the inventory yourself and just click on a weapon and be like, oh, there's a description there. Oh, it says something. And if you do all those things, there comes some sort of a story, but still it has all those blanks that you have to fill in yourself. And man, that guy Miyazaki, he fascinates me. That's, or at least the games he makes fascinate me. That's really an amazing way of going about things. And I'm not even sure if he did that on purpose, but he apparently kind of had the same fascination as I, where it's like, that's interesting, I don't understand it, and because of that now something needs to happen. Because I don't understand something, something has to happen now. And it's the same with games as with real life. as with this with you know, Miyazaki and l- learning English, playing Pokemon. It's all that same thing, and I really love that. It fascinates me. It I don't know. It just creates enthusiasm. Well, I just get my butt kicked. You know, that's the thing. So yeah. Well, I'm just being challenged in real life, and I don't always like those challenges. Like I said, that doesn't really make me happy. But I have this deeper thing in me where it's like, oh, but I want to be able to do that. I want to overcome this. You know, I want to know how it works really. So that's who I am and what I'm good at. I guess it doesn't make it so. By the way, that I then understand more things. I just have more challenges, and I guess that makes for more experiences in life, and maybe even a fascinating life. I don't know. So thank you all for being here with me, and subscribe to my channel if you like this. See you with the new video.